Hello, everybody. Welcome to 50/50 Booking. And look, I'm not alone.
Really?
Busy saving children. And to tell us more, Kerry Colours.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, I set you up to talk about your charity.
Oh, yeah, they do basically what it says on the tin. They help save children in need.
Yeah, because obviously not every country has that charity, so I think it was best to obviously elaborate a bit. So
Quite a few countries do. They're based in Australia and America and like a few of the other like bigger, more like populated countries. But they do a lot of work in smaller, more independent countries.
yeah, kind of what I wanted to explain to people. It's not just a UK charity, so people don't have to be just in the UK to contribute.
It's a global cause.
There you go. So, and a lot of people do have children, so something to bear in mind. So it's all kinds of children, but it's not just people. It's not just poor children or children in the middle of nowhere or anything like that. Save the Children could be for any child.
Yep. Any country, any condition.
Any circumstance, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
So for those of you wondering why we're talking about that, because this is Aaron's charity for Caring Colours.
Yeah.
And the links down below reflect that because it now has that as the link instead of what it was for last month.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the other thing you can catch Aaron doing, which he's currently doing right now because he's probably leveling up and get bits and pieces for the next time he does one of these Twitch streams.
Yeah.
Which you can find right here. The channel link is down below. He's currently doing Minecraft in between talking about what we're going to be talking about, doing various bits and pieces. But Aaron can explain more about that, can't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, last stream that I did, I was building redstone farms, which is like farms that are automatic and operate by themselves. Okay. And I made 3 different farms. I made a sugarcane farm, a bamboo farm, and a kelp farm.
Was this yesterday's stream?
No, this was last Wednesday's stream.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday I was playing zombies with a group of friends that have decided to call themselves the Caring Crew. So that's a thing now, apparently.
Fair enough. Yeah, Aaron streams usually Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays normally, unless something comes up, and does different things on different days. So obviously, just keep a track of your socials and your streams to let you know what's happening when.
Yeah, usually if I'm streaming, I do like post on my story on the day, just to remind everybody that it's happening. And if I cancel, I put something on my story as well.
Yeah, you can find Aaron on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, I believe.
Yep. On TikTok, I actually got a video that's almost viral as well this past week.
Nice. So you're talking thousands then for that?
Yeah. It's currently on 27,000 so far.
That's very good.
Yeah. I mean, I've never had a video go over 1,200, so 27,000 was a bit like, wait, hang on a second, is this actually happening?
No, it's good. I think that's good anyway.
Yeah, I've never really been one for TikTok, but I had like quite an autistic moment one morning when I was getting ready for work, and I started doing. I for some reason I had poetry stuck in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, roses are red, violets are blue, roses are red, violets are blue. And I was just like, I bet I can make something really funny out of this. And I did. And I did it on TikTok. And yeah, it went viral.
That's cool. To be fair, somebody else did that too. And that's why we have Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I did it for Valentine's Day as well.
So, yeah. Because we got that coming up in a few days.
Yeah. I think you'd like mine because mine's anti-Valentine's Day.
In fact, yeah, we have another show planned. In fact, the next show we do is the day before it, so that could be fun.
Yeah, my brother's birthday's around Valentine's Day as well. I think it's like 2 days before or 2 days after.
One of the models that I sometimes work with, her birthday is Valentine's Day.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so I guess who always gets a very nice Valentine's Day if they're in a relationship.
Yeah.
So I personally think Valentine's Day is actually bullshit, though. In all honesty,
It's an American thing, really.
I'm not against the idea of like doing nice things for your other half and shit like that. But you should do that every day. It shouldn't just be, oh, it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you're supposed to be being nice to me. It's like, where's that in the contract?
Yeah. To be honest, I think if there's a day you're supposed to be nice to the person you're with, it should be their birthday.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to be the wedding day, and that was it.
Well, I hate to break it to you. On the wedding day, you have no say in anything, Aaron, just to be clear.
I don't apparently have anything to say about my bachelor party either, but you know, it's what it is.
Oh, don't worry, I'll get you strippers, don't you worry.
Oh, you'll be the one getting into trouble from Kaylee then.
Yeah,
Even
but
though she wants you at the wedding.
I'm not scared of Kaylee. That's the difference. And also, I don't have anything to lose from it.
I know, I've told her this.
I've yet to meet anyone who actually scares me enough not to want to do funny things for people.
I'm surprised your sister's not on that list.
On my list, on the list of what exactly?
People who like scare you or something. Then again, you grew up with us, so
I grew up with us, so it's not a thing for me. For anyone else, it probably is, but when you've grown up with the person, they're not that
I didn't
bad.
think that through, really.
Yeah. It'd be like, there'll be certain family members everyone has, and people outside of the family will think, oh my God, but you're just so used to that person, you just think, he's just a dopey bastard or a silly bitch or something.
Basically, yeah.
So for yourselves, you don't give a shit.
Nope.
So it is all good fun. But yeah, do you want male or female strippers?
Either.
Could always try and get a mix, I guess.
If you could do that, I'd be impressed.
But I can always look into it and see.
I'd be impressed if you could, because I think that's kind of like a grey area for Kaylee. She hasn't said anything about trans strippers.
Well, there's that, or you just have one of each, of a male and a female one, or you have one who identifies as male and female. There's a whole bunch of ways you can get around what Kaylee's probably said to you.
Yeah, probably.
So, there's also the fact I can just blatantly go against it because it doesn't matter to me. So
there is that.
I'm not the one that has to sleep in a bed with her later.
True.
See, it's always much easier when you don't have to bear the consequences of something you do.
Yeah, I imagine it is.
And not being funny, we both know you want strippers.
No, I'm not actually that fussed about strippers, to be honest. I don't really see.
Oh, if you don't want them, then we don't have to do it.
No, I kind of just want them because, like,
because you said you can't.
No.
Yeah. That's always the way. It's the minute somebody tells you you can't have something, you want it. That's how it is. Yeah, I had this discussion with a friend of mine earlier. I was out with a friend of mine. We were she was doing a wedding fair thing. She was modeling bridal dresses and stuff, and we had this discussion earlier. And it's literally a case of came up with like literally. We don't generally care, but the minute you're told you can't do something, you just want to do it all the more because somebody says you can't.
For me, I feel like it's my autism. It's just like, oh, okay, challenge accepted.
I can understand. In my case, I think it's more simply a case of you said I can't, which means I'm going to.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, you're gonna regret that. You're gonna regret that a lot.
It's my contrarianism, I think, is what that is.
Oh, contrary.
Yeah, it's when somebody gives you the considered wisdom, and then you just do the opposite because you don't want to be told what to do.
It's just like, yeah, that's what you think.
Yeah, all the while you're thinking, this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then thinking of all the other ways that you can do X or Y or Z thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, isn't it fun?
It is.
Definitely much more fun than what we're going to talk about, obviously, for the actual show. But, you know, We also
Yeah,
have fun on this show too, so we kind of have to deal with the show.
I'm glad you spoke about the Rumble last week because I really
Yeah. I didn't think you'd handle that very well, strangely enough.
no. I should have called the Lesnar. I should have called the Lesnar thing because I said that he'd enter the Rumble, but I didn't say that he'd win it, didn't I?
Yeah, the thing is, earlier in the week, I actually found out, so I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Again, like with everything we do, I don't do spoilers, so I don't let on to when I know stuff. I mean, you didn't get to watch Rumble at the time because obviously that's the reason you wasn't obviously on the show because Aaron was busy last weekend, so he couldn't do anything. In fact, you didn't even do your stream, did you, on Saturday?
No.
Right. Aaron was away meeting up with friends he doesn't get to see very often. That's what that was, and basically it's an important thing, and it kind of takes precedence, and that's fine. By consequence, obviously, he didn't have to talk about the Royal Rumble, which for him was probably a good thing. But he also got to have a nice time away. He went with Kaylee as well, so I'm guessing that was nice too.
Yeah. In more ways than one. But
Pillow Princess, yeah.
It is what it is.
She admitted on this show, so I'm not saying anything that isn't common knowledge at this point.
No.
So there you go. But yeah, the fun part, of course, we'll talk about this now because it doesn't really affect anything on the actual show. Mustafa Ali got denied the release he asked for, which doesn't really surprise anyone at all. And then, literally days later, we found out that Brian Kendrick got a release.
Yeah, we also found out why.
Yeah, there's a bit more to it than that. Oh no, the release was just his contract had expired. The bit you're talking about was known years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It, however, resurfaced once he was scheduled to appear for a different company.
Yeah, kind of funny how that worked, isn't it?
Yeah, and subsequently did not appear for said company.
Nope.
So there you go.
Surprise.
But yeah, but ultimately, I just feel sorry for Ali. I mean, what the hell?
No, I don't get it either. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, if you're not going to use the guy, which they're clearly not at present,
No,
why keep him? It makes no sense, especially when you're trying to save money.
Yeah, I know he's a great talent, like one of the best, but seriously, keeping him when he wants to be released, and yeah, as you said, they're trying to save money or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Budget cuts.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, right, it'd be different if they were actually giving him good stuff to do and treating him well, but they're not.
No, they are really not. As was evident the past week.
Yeah.
Because was Mustafa Ali around? No. And he wasn't even in the Rumble.
No. Did you actually watch the Rumble?
Yeah. I actually didn't get it didn't have it spoiled for me.
Yeah, I make a point of not telling you stuff even though you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I knew Rousey was coming back in the Rumble, but I didn't know that she was winning it. So when I clicked on the link to watch it and there was a picture of her pointing to the WrestleMania sign, I was just like, and avoiding social media like the plague was pointless.
Yeah.
That's just.
I actually knew about the Rousey thing. I also knew she was going to win. Again, something I didn't tell because, again, don't want to spoil things for people.
Yeah, I knew that Lesnar was going to. I didn't know that Lesnar was going to be in the Rumble. That was just a lucky guess.
Yeah. I mean, most of us have worked out whichever one of the champions lost their title, the title match probably would end up in the Rumble. We kind of discussed this.
Yeah, whether or not they won it or not was going to be a different story, and that's exactly what happened. I should have just called it.
Yeah, as I said, I found out later on after we'd done that, but again, I don't like to spoil things for people.
No. Nobody likes to spoil sport.
Did you see the sign? Or did you hear
Which-
about it? There's WrestleMania sign.
No.
It's set on fire
Oh,
during the show.
I heard that there was a fire at the Rumble, but I didn't realise that the sign actually set on fire.
Yeah, twice.
After the fireworks or before?
It was actually during the let's see if I can remember, the Becky Lynch and Piper Niven match.
Well, I've heard of bringing down the house, but I never thought a sign would get involved.
Mm-hmm. They literally had to clear out the whole section of fans so they could lower the sign and remove it.
Jeez.
So yeah. So to cover anyone who isn't aware, the current state of play: Roman is still the Universal Champion. Bobby Lashley is the WWE Champion. Brock and Ronda won the respective Rumbles. Becky's still the Women's Champion.
So it was a good night for UFC.
Oh, fuck UFC. Fuck MMA, to be perfectly blunt. Can't stand it. It's probably an unpopular opinion, but I don't care. Not the only MMA person who turned up on a show this week. So, but there you go. Mind you, I should probably. I don't know if Aaron would have seen that or not.
Depends what you're talking about.
Have you watched AEW?
Yes.
Okay, so you probably do know what I'm talking about.
Which
Brandy Rhodes.
Oh, right, yeah, Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah, the woman that came out at the end.
Oh, the mixed martial artist UFC woman that.
Paige Van Zam. Is her actual name.
She's been on the show before.
Yeah, but again, that's another MMA person, so.
Yeah.
Hadn't been on for a while and turned up, so yeah. There's been a few MMA people this week in wrestling, in the wrestling world. To further illustrate Aaron's point. However, now we've caught everyone up on what's currently going on, we do actually have to get back to. We actually do have to go back to reviewing the programs in question. And of course, we have to start with Raw because Raw is the one that follows the Rumble. And Raw, of course, started, as it always does, with something really dumb. Although, Elimination Chamber, we kind of knew this was going to happen. They announced participants. Well, some participants, and someone else has, and others had to do qualifying.
Yeah. I mean, the opening segment wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, it could have been a lot worse. I agree.
Yeah. And the like whole Lashley cowarding out to Brock Lesnar was understandable after what happened at the Rumble. But at the same time, like, I'm glad we didn't get a rematch the night after the Rumble. It would have been pointless.
Yeah.
At least this sets something decent up for Saudi, even though it's in Saudi.
Yeah, I also find it a bit cringe that you're having the Elimination Chamber take place in a country like Saudi Arabia.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Put it this way, even how do I put this? Obviously, there used to be there was the pay-per-view that was called Elimination Chamber, right?
Yeah.
And in a certain country, it's not called Elimination Chamber.
Right.
You can guess why.
Germany?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why.
At least they had the good sense to know not to call it that. I believe it's the English translation is basically no escape.
Or No Way Out, but that would make sense.
It's no escape. You can't use No Way Out because No Way Out was a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But the actual words they use essentially translated to English into no escape, which is what the chamber is actually. So it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we have an Elimination Chamber match at Saudi. Probably only one, I would think. And basically, Brock got put into the match without having to qualify. That I've got an issue with.
I mean, I have, but I don't care. To be honest, I think Brock's gonna take it in Saudi, and then we get the main event WrestleMania match that Paul Heyman says, "Oh, we won't get it because he doesn't have a title now." On SmackDown, they've just given it away. They've basically told us what the main event of WrestleMania is going to be without even having us there yet. If that makes sense.
Bear in mind, WrestleMania is 2 nights, so there's got to be 2 main events, and we already know at least one of them, and it's not the one you're talking about. We know a different one.
Yeah,
and that was before SmackDown happened.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, this was literally just to tell us that Lesnar's going to be in the chamber match, which means Lesnar's in Saudi, which of course I'm guessing is to let the Saudis know, oh, he's going to be there. Come and see, spend money.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Right now, I am literally just going to go to matches, and you can mention segments if you want, but I'm just covering matches. Next thing I have up is Rhea against Nikki Cross.
Yeah, it was an okay match. Ripley won.
Yeah, pretty much all you can say about it, really.
Yeah. I've just noticed that my notes for the show are ridiculously little.
Yeah, because not a lot actually happens on this show. That's why.
Yeah, I normally have 2 pages for Raw, and right here I'm sitting here and there's a page and a half.
Yeah, you guys obviously don't generally see Aaron's notes. I do, and he has a lot of them generally. But yeah, there's not a lot happening on these shows, which is why they're so sparse.
I wouldn't even go as far as to say sparse. I'd say next to nothing.
Lacking. Let's go with lacking then. Yeah. So there you go. Next thing I have is actually a match, which is The Miz versus Dominic Mysterio.
See, this was just completely random.
Yeah.
But it was something new.
Yeah. I actually didn't mind this.
Yeah, don't have a problem with this at all.
I mean, I'm not particularly fond of either one of them, but it was something different.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad. Which from Raw booking is pretty much all you can ask for.
Pretty much, yeah.
We are probably going to see this several more times, though.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, for those of you wondering why there wasn't a tag match, well, we'll get to that later because Daddy was busy doing something else. But we'll get to that later. In the meantime, first chamber qualifying match of the evening.
Yeah, this was...
It's Theory versus Owens. Yeah. Theory won.
Yeah, just let that sink in for a second.
Yeah. This is what Kevin Owens signed a new contract for.
Yeah, and I'd also like to say that at this point, here is a perfect part where they could have used Ali, because he got taken out of last year's chamber match, not last year's, but the year before's Chamber match, and Kofi Kingston was put in his place, and then they had Kofi Mania. Not that I'm knocking Kofi Mania. Was a big fan, like happy for Kofi finally getting this WWE Championship match after 15 years, but Mustafa Ali got left out of last year's Elimination Chamber, and now he's being left out of this one as well. And he asked for his release. If that shouldn't give WWE the kick up they asked that they need to use him properly, I don't know what will.
Nothing is the honest answer. I mean, you've got to look at the stuff they've given that guy, and he's tried so hard to make it all work, and they've done nothing.
Yeah.
Deserves much better.
Yeah.
At least give the guy the opportunity to try. And then if he fails, then he fails. But let him at least have a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but you'd think it'd be so easy to do. He's a former cop. He's a nice looking guy. You know, it's not ugly.
Yeah.
He can perform in the ring. He can be a heel, he can be a face. He's shown that.
Yeah, and he's good with other talents as well. He's worked well with Ricochet. He worked well with Tommy End while he was in the promotion.
Mansoor as well. And of course, even the Retribution faction, whether you liked it or not, he made that work a lot better than what it should have done.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to reiterate, Austin Theory won.
Oh, what happened there?
It sort of froze up. I don't know why. Yeah, Austin Theory won. I think the internet went into shock, so I thought I should just reiterate this.
Yeah.
So he gets inserted into the chamber match.
That sounds painful when you put it like that.
Well, he's Vince McMahon's bitch, so what do you expect?
Oi, oi.
Well, he was staring at his ass the other week, although we didn't talk about that.
Yeah. Vince has been giving off priest vibes, and I don't mean the Damien kind.
He means the Catholic kind, FYI. Also, yeah, it's not the first time Vince has given indications of the fact he kind of likes guys. Don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with liking guys at all. But when he's married, okay.
How young is Theory? He's younger than me.
It'd be the equivalent of his great-grandchild.
Hunter better hide his kids.
Why do you think he's not been on telly?
That's explaining a lot.
He's not even been in creative or anything. I think he's been hiding everything. So, yeah. Next up, Angelo Dawkins versus Dolph Ziggler.
See, this was new as well.
It was.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's nice to see Dawkins get a shot at this as well, rather than it being Montez as well, because Montez generally gets these matches and Dawkins doesn't. So it's nice to see Dawkins get a go here.
Yeah.
And Dolph's, whether you like Dolph or not, Dolph is a steady hand and he's a decent wrestler. So, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought these two did okay here. It's like the Miz Dominic Mysterio match. It was different, and I didn't think it was bad either.
No.
But they both suffered from the same thing. They weren't good or great. They just weren't bad. What's your opinion? I think they're wonderful. I love them so much. Do you, Aaron? That's kind of disturbing.
It was what it was. I mean, it's not like the first time we've seen either of these guys go one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like it's a memorable match either. So it doesn't hurt
No.
either of them, but it doesn't really do much either.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what it's like in about 3 weeks' time when they've faced each other another 3 times.
Yeah.
Because that's how WWE do their booking.
Pretty much.
Speaking of how WWE do their booking, our next match: Riddle versus Otis.
Yeah, this went well. Like a lead balloon.
I think you've been a bit harsh on the lead balloon there.
Okay, it's like a lead balloon popped.
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
Just to go back, by the way, Dawkins won the match. Obviously, I didn't mention that before, so I probably should mention that. And Riddle won this match.
Yeah. And like how are they like I don't know. Like how are they actually like giving this to Riddle? Because I mean Randy struggled to beat Otis.
Mm-hmm.
And Riddle just goes in being beaten at a scooter race and drops him.
My guess, and this would be my guess, Riddle's younger. Also, Riddle's an ex-MMA fighter. So I'm guessing they're just trying to put over the fact that Riddle was younger and more dangerous at this point in their careers. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of which may explain it, basically.
If that's what they're doing, then that sucks.
Oh, it does. I didn't say it was good.
They've taken away Otis from his original tag team partner. They partnered him with Gable. They've given him a brand new look where he's basically dumb but muscly as hell. So basically a German tank. And now they're treating him like this.
Here's the thing, right? Not being funny. Do you know who Gable and Otis remind me of as a team? And it's not good, by the way, but you may understand the comparison when I explain it to you. Jesse and Festus.
I thought you was going to say Big Show and Jericho.
No, because Big Show could actually go.
Yeah, true.
To be fair, Luke Gallows at the time, he couldn't really, mainly because the character in question wouldn't allow that to be a thing.
No.
And I think that's what you got here as well. You've got two people who've been put together, but because of the gimmick they have, they can't be what they should be.
Yeah.
Specifically Otis. Gable seems to still be able to do most of what he'd do anyway, but he's also stuck with Otis because, not being funny, Gable doesn't need to be in a tag team at this point. He'd be better off as a singles guy.
Yeah, and to be honest, and I don't have anything against Otis, but I think that he could be a decent singles competitor as well.
Yeah, give him the right thing and the right gimmick, and he'd be fine. I mean, You could literally have him be, well, you kind of touched on it before, like a Big Show kind of thing, where he's literally a monster of some kind. He just runs through people. Doesn't necessarily do wrestling, but he could just overpower people.
I mean, he'd do a better job than Omos.
Right, I would believe Otis more than I do Omos. Omos just strikes me as being painful to watch. I could believe Otis could do it, though. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Because Otis has shown he can do stuff. It's not like he can't.
No, he's more than capable.
Yeah. I mean, is he the best worker in the world? No, but compared to Omos, oh God, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'd much rather watch Otis have those kind of matches than Omos, because I think Otis can actually do them. But there you go. Speaking of more repeats, by the way, Bianca Belair versus Carmella.
Oh boy.
Bianca won.
At least the right person won.
Yeah. That's all. That's the best thing you can say about this is that Bianca won.
Mm-hmm. That's literally all I have to say about it, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. And now,
I mean, was it the
Go on.
worst match? No. Was it the best match? No, not really.
No, the best match is next.
Hmm.
By a country mile on this show, by the way.
Yeah.
I suspect Aaron's just checked to see what it is.
No, I remember it's Rey Mysterio versus AJ Styles.
Yeah, another chamber qualifying match.
Yeah, this was good.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd quite happily watch this every week. Because
Yeah,
I know it would be different every week.
Yeah, this is why obviously Ray and Dominic were not tagging earlier, because Ray was facing AJ in this match.
Yeah, and it makes sense because Ray doesn't want to get injured or something before a chamber qualifying match. He was bound to lose anyway, but it was what it was.
Yeah, it's something we've not seen a lot of in WWE, them face each other. I have seen them face each other in matches before, but those were independent promotions. And they've always been good matches, so I didn't expect any different here. And even with WWE's crap booking, these two just made this work and did very well. So easily the best match of the show.
Yeah, it was worth every single minute.
Yeah, not sure I'd want to put up for 3 hours of Raw to get to this, but you know.
It is what it is.
Definitely worth checking out, like, for anyone who didn't watch Raw and maybe want to watch a highlight. That match would be the one.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely much better than the thing that followed it.
Mm-hmm.
Raw ends with a segment.
Yeah.
Which ultimately involves Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Lita.
I didn't have a problem with the Lita segment.
No, that was fine. Lita and Becky having a thing, absolutely not an issue with. But Aaron's going to explain to us what went wrong, aren't you, Aaron?
Well, can we talk about Ronda Rousey calling Becky Rebecca throughout this entire segment?
Yeah.
Like, cringe factor up to 11. Also disrespectful.
Yeah, but I think the disrespectful thing was obviously on purpose, but it's also very dumb because it's like, really? That's the best you can do?
So like, okay, you're a mom, you're going to pronounce people's names like by their proper names? Okay.
Maybe Ronda's proud of herself. She's just meant to learn how to say the word.
Really?
Because you know what happens when children first learn a word? Yeah, but you notice how when children first learn a word, they're really excited about it, so they keep saying the word.
Yeah.
That's what this reminded me of.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it to her face. Do you know why?
Because you don't care.
That too, yeah. That and the fact of there is such a thing as assault laws.
Yeah.
So, because in the away from an MMA ring and a boxing ring or a wrestling ring, you can't randomly go around hitting people.
As much as you may like to.
And most people probably would like to. But yeah. Also, if you can't take criticism,
don't be in a professional wrestling ring.
But don't be in anything that involves celebrity or being anywhere in the public eye, because you're going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
Bear in mind, it has to be related to what you do for the profession, not your personal life.
Mm-hmm.
For example, there's a lot of things that I have issues with when it comes to certain people, right? But it's all to do with their professional stuff, nothing to do with them as a person. And I personally, as far as Wanda goes, as a professional person, I don't like her. I find her boring.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that.
I find her boring, and I find her tedious, and it's like, oh god, why?
Mm-hmm.
So her turn up here really did piss me off because I was much happier when it was like, oh, it's Lita and Becky. I actually might like this.
But no.
The only thing that would have made this worse was if you had thrown Charlotte Flair out there as well. Because then this angle, then this whole segment would have died a death. And that's it.
I don't like the look.
We didn't do that well.
Yeah, I don't like the looks of this, to be honest, because it looks like a repeat of WrestleMania 35. Is going to happen.
What apparently the plan is, they kind of gets foreshadowed on SmackDown anyway, so it's not really spoiling anything. Is to have Becky and to have Ronda and Charlotte.
Yeah.
And only Ronda and Charlotte.
That's not what I've heard.
Yeah, I'm talking about what I've heard from as far as people related to WWE go, so it's a bit different.
Could be.
People want to try and insert Becky so badly because they think it would make it better. And yes, it would. But that's not what they're going to do. Because apparently the plan is to have Charlotte and Ronda this year, and at the next WrestleMania is to have Becky and Ronda.
It's understandable.
Honestly, I think it's the wrong way round.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that.
And the reason, and I can justify this to people. Well, I can explain why. I shouldn't really say justify. It's not really why. I can explain why I'd want it that way. I would want it that way because Becky is the one who beat Ronda for the belt. So who should she want to fight first? It's not Charlotte.
Charlotte doesn't make sense.
No. The first person she should be angry with and want to go at is Becky.
Because Becky beat her for both belts.
And of course, there's that whole thing about her shoulder not being down as well. So there's a bit of controversy there that you can play up to. It's very easy to make this into a thing. There isn't anything with Charlotte and Ronda. It doesn't work.
The only thing that they've got bad blood-wise is what happened at SummerSlam. Or was it Survivor Series? Either one.
Survivor Series.
When Charlotte hit Ronda with a kendo stick.
Yeah, Survivor Series. Yeah. But what's more egregious to someone, do you reckon? Somebody just hit me with a stick a few times, or somebody who beat me for my belt?
Gave you your only loss on your unblemished record.
Mm-hmm.
Even though WWE don't have records.
No.
Yeah, they keep on talking about records at the moment, if people haven't noticed, and it's really starting to get on my nerves. It's like you don't have records. Why are you talking about records? Is it because a different company has records?
Well, for WWE, wins and losses don't matter. They've told us repeatedly, right? And yeah, now we're getting that happen. It's like, gee, I wonder why why they keep going on about that. And I think you're exactly right.
Yeah. It's just like I don't think they get that the reason why people are watching the other brand isn't because that they have records. It's because it's just that much better.
Yeah, it's a combination of things. It's not just one thing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things. There are a lot of things WWE do well. Don't get me wrong, but the problem is the things they don't do well are so badly done. It causes the program, what we get to be, yeah, essentially. Although for this segment though, I'm happy to see Lita. Hope Lita's involved more. Yay, more Lita, please.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
So
I like the way that Lita kind of tricked Becky into accepting a title match as well. It was very Lita.
exactly. This is an instance where this works, and it works for Lita as a character. So I am okay with this. This works fine. Also, you're going to get her against Becky, and I think those two can have a very good match.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy with that.
Just I don't think Saudi's going to be. I don't think it's going to. Oh, I can't think of what I'm trying to say.
I'm not so sure it being Saudi because of all the later tattoos.
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
Because that's one of the reasons why your favourite wrestler wasn't allowed to perform there. That being the Satanist, of course.
Yeah.
Aaron's favourite wrestler, by the way, I don't mean Aaron's a Satanist. That's a different thing. Wow. Yeah, it's just I know your favourite wrestler is one, so I made it's much more of a definitive statement as opposed to calling you one where I'm not quite sure what you are half the time.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
Exactly. So if you don't know, how the hell am I going to know?
Beats me.
No, that I would say that'd be Kaylee, but no, we've established she's a pillar princess, so I'd actually beat you.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that's what Charlie and Target are there for. Actually, I was thinking about it. No, it's probably Bruce. Isn't that Bruce's job? Bruce hits people, doesn't he?
Sometimes.
There you go. So it's Bruce. Right. But essentially, that was Raw.
Yeah, basically.
And here comes the fun part. Aaron's got to rate it.
To be honest, even though that there wasn't like that matches, there was the segments. There wasn't anything really wrong with it, wrestling wise. There wasn't anything like some of the segments didn't need to be there, but none of it was bad, like seriously bad.
I would argue for the last one, but I see your point.
So I actually gave this a 6.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. For the exact reason you just gave, yeah.
It wasn't like, fuck's sake, why am I watching this? And it wasn't actually like, oh, I'm so bored of this. It was actually okay. As far as rules go.
Yeah. Aaron rating on his raw curve right there.
Basically.
Right. To give you guys an example of a difference, right? Okay. Let's just do a little test here, Aaron. All right. Rate Raw, but use the way you'd rate Dynamite. To rate it.
See, like since I've been doing this show, I don't watch the two shows the same way anymore. I can watch AEW and enjoy it, whereas WWE, I'm analyzing, I'm looking at it in more depth. I think if I was to look in AEW the same way, I think I'd probably be like just as critical, but maybe a little less because the talent's involved.
Yeah, that's kind of the point I wanted you to make.
Yeah.
And it was easy to put it that way rather than ask you to explain that, because sometimes it's just easier to get somebody to get to an answer by asking a certain question rather than just saying, explain this.
Yeah.
So the point being, yes, even though Aaron does watch AEW as well, it's not the same way he looks at it. So you can't really judge it the same ways. And Aaron doesn't. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Aaron, we are now on to
It's 2.0
NXT. Go on. I'm going to let you start this. Go on.
Do I have to?
I'll do it if you want. If it's really that bad.
Okay, well, thinking about it, this actually wasn't that bad. Diamond Mine versus Imperium.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've just kind of hypocrited myself a bit, but I'm gonna roll with it.
Go on, keep going.
Strong was taken out by Eichner with a boot, like straight off the bat.
Uh-huh.
And it was pretty much like the story of how Roderick Strong was injured for most of this. And there wasn't really much in a way of a match. That's what it felt like to me. It felt like more of a slaughter for on Imperium side.
Oh no, it was. I agree with you.
And it did not sit well with me with the fact that like Diamond Mine just got kind of obliterated.
Yeah.
Because like they're supposed to be like one of them teams, if you know what I'm talking about, like when I say them teams.
I think what Aaron's trying to say is Diamond Mine are supposed to be like one of those factions who you don't just roll over because they will fight back.
Yeah. Practically, yeah.
But that's not what happened here, though.
Yeah, no. No, it did not. This was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I really just don't know what to say about this. I mean, like, Diamond Mines have been, like, great and consistent. And then just to be put up against Imperium like this and torn to bits was total crap.
Yeah. I'll put forward something. You can tell me if you think this would be better, right? Don't have this match. Have Imperium face off against 3 NXT talent instead.
Yeah, or make this match a no contest.
Yeah, you don't need to have them. You don't necessarily need to have them face each other. Okay, it could lead to that, but you don't need Imperium running over Diamond Mine here. Have Imperium run over 3 enhancement talent essentially, and then possibly have something later on with Diamond Mine. Then, but you shouldn't run over Diamond Mine this easily. It's bad storytelling because where do you go from here?
No.
Where does it go? Yeah. So for me, it made no
winning
sense.
the Dusty Cup and having a rematch that they lose.
Yeah.
That's where this is going. That's what I think is going to happen.
I wouldn't be
And
surprised.
then they're going to lose, and they're going to be like, "Oh wait, but we still won the Dusty Cup." And it'll be like, "Yeah, you won the Dusty Cup. You can't beat the champions." Next.
Yeah, it's bad. Next up, I have the Can They Coexist duo for some bloody reason. Raquel Gonzalez versus Cora Jade.
Yeah, I didn't like this either.
I don't know why why this was on. Honestly, I don't get it. Why was I watching this?
I don't know. Really do not know.
The only thing worth mentioning here is that Gonzalez won. That's pretty much it.
I mean, if she hadn't, would we have been shocked?
Well, I wouldn't know because WWE. So.
To be honest, like with Cora Jade as well, it's kind of, well, for the lack of a better phrase, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to put Cora over, and it's making them like other talents look like crap. Like I don't know if it makes other people like look. It's just stupid. That's what it is.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. So, following that, we had Saraya versus Layla Inlay, yeah.
Yeah.
Saraya won.
This wasn't much better, to be honest.
Well, it couldn't have been much worse than what just happened, yeah.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. Anything to say about it at all, or just the fact it was better?
I honestly, I don't know. Just part of me just doesn't care, to be honest.
That's fair enough. Speaking of things that nobody probably should care about, Gacy versus LA Knight.
This was just stupid.
Yeah. That's why my previous statement.
And it's just like before that we had the GYV and Diamond Mine segment, which like builds heat between them two, gives Diamond Mine someone else to fight later on. But we knew that they was going to fight each other anyway in the Dusty Cup.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So, yeah, that led us on to Gacy against Knight, and Gacy wins.
Yeah.
Which Aaron's delighted about because he loves Gacy.
You.
Oh, that's the joke because we all know you don't. That's kind of the point.
Uh-huh.
So this will probably be one of many more matches these guys had, because of course it will be.
Mm-hmm.
This will end up being a feud that never bloody ends, more than likely.
Probably.
But on Sank, much more fun for me anyway, because I kind of enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. Wendy Chu versus Amari Miller.
I liked this. I especially liked the ending.
Yeah, well, everyone knows I'm kind of biased because I like Wendy Chu's gimmick. I think it's great.
I do as well.
What's not to like about it? It's great, and she makes it work, which is the important part. Because you can have a gimmick like this and it fail badly.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have the right talent to do a gimmick like this, otherwise it does not work. And all credit to her, she makes this work, and it works very well. Although Aaron is slightly jealous because he would love to do his job in his pajamas.
I do most of the streaming side of things.
Yeah, I was going to say, not the other job. But Wendy Chu won, so yay! This is probably my favourite thing on this show, honestly. Do you think I'm wrong?
No.
Yeah. There you go. Unfortunately, we're now back to the mediocrity. We've got Adrian Chase versus Draco Anthony.
Inner peace. Inner peace.
There you
Inner peace.
Chase won. Let's just leave it at that. I think that was slightly better though, and this is probably the second best thing on this show. It's the tag match with Bron Breakker and Ciampa versus Legado del Fantasma. It was better than Chase and Draco Anthony.
Yeah, granted.
Yeah, see. Don't get me wrong. I think it's by no means do I think it's anywhere near what the Wendy Chu thing was, but it's probably the second best thing on this show. Because everything else was just so bad, honestly.
Pretty much.
So yeah, Breakker and Ciampa won. So that's at least something. I'll be curious to see though whether that means at some point Breakker and Ciampa are going to end up against Imperium for those tag titles.
Would be interesting to watch.
Yeah, that's something I'm curious about at least because I think it'd be a good match to see. But other than that, I don't really have much of an interest in it, but I think that would be good. But unfortunately for all of us, that leads us to how NXT went off the air. Like Raw, a segment.
Yeah.
And it's something I'm going to moan about because SmackDown went off for a segment as well. So all three of the major shows, ended with a segment, not a match. Fucking lazy. This particular segment, however, was Kaylee Ray and Mandy Rose.
Yeah, I didn't care much for this segment, to be fair.
Yeah. The only thing that really came out of this was Kaylee Ray essentially got a title match out of Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Like Aaron, I don't care.
Yeah.
And that's a horrible thing to say because I like Kaylee Ray, but this was bad.
hmm I think that's why I gave this week's NXT a 4. Like,
I don't know where that.
I
know where
usually
I
really
know-
enjoy NXT.
Yeah, I know where the 4 came from.
Hmm.
It's obvious why this show got a 4.
Yeah.
It's Wendy Chu, right?
Why?
Well, it's the only reason it got anything other than a 0, right? It's Wendy Chu, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, yeah, we're a bit biased on that one. We both kind of like Wendy Chu. So.
Yeah.
But she was literally the only good thing on this show. Everything else was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
That, of course, now brings us on to NXT UK, which fortunately was definitely better than the US version. But that wouldn't be hard.
No.
So we start off with a tag match here, which is Aston Smith and Oliver Carter against Jack Stars and Dave Mastiff. And you can say this to most people. Who do you think won this match? And I guarantee you most people get this wrong.
Yeah, I was surprised by the match.
Yeah, surprised me too.
I mean, this was a good match. I mean, the progression of Stars and Mastiff, and also Carter and Smith as tag teams, it showed how much both teams have improved.
Yeah.
And especially like where Smith and Carter have been a team for a lot longer than Mastiff and Stars have. The right team won, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. I'm surprised they did, but the right team did win this match. But yeah, easily the best tag match of the week for WWE. It's not even hard.
Yeah. But also, I've got a new favorite kind of duo happened this week in NXT.
Oh, did you? Oh, good.
Saxon Huxley and A-Kid. A-Kid's trying to refine Saxon Huxley. See, I said about this with Tio Man.
I remember
with the Familia. But
I do remember this.
This, I think, could actually work. And they could probably become a quite formidable tag team.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to hurt. But yes, I actually do remember you saying this. So for those of you who didn't hear this, yeah, Aaron has said this quite a few times on various shows. But yeah, it looks like he's going to get his little wish, which is nice.
I mean, then after that, yeah, they said he did the first week and he said it's a work in progress and we're going to carry on next week. So this is going to be like a weekly development segment thing, I think. And it didn't look like there was much hope, to be honest, but I'm sure A-Kid will do something.
You can make stuff like this last a while if you do it right.
I hope they don't rush it. I hope you build it up properly.
Yeah, if you do this right, you can make this last a while.
Yeah. And as long as you keep it interesting as well, it'll be good.
That's what I mean by doing it right. You have to keep it interesting, but you also have to keep it relevant as well.
Yeah. So, next we had a recap of the Devil and Dragunov match, but like literally no context to it, so it made no sense. Just dropped right in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Then we had a Fraser.
I say I'm never a fan of when people just drop stuff when any program does that because it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, After that, we had a Fraser segment, which led to him getting jumped by D Familia, which was honestly okay after what happened between the four of them last week. Then we had Myla Grace versus Isla Dawn, a pretty good showing from Myla Grace. However, Isla Dawn came through and won the match.
Yeah.
Amel had an interview which was interrupted by Nina Samuels, and then it became the Nina Samuels show. And then Amel got in Nina's face, and a match was made for next week between the two of them. Then we had a Gradwell segment, which was okay. Built a bit of tension for the match between Gradwell and Williams. But I'm actually a bit upset that Gradwell and Huxley aren't going to be a tag team.
Yeah, because you was kind of happy about that when it happened.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm kind of sad that there's not going to be no Saxon, Huxley, and Gradwell team anymore. But I'm actually happy that A-Kid's working with Huxley now. So Huxley's not being left in the background.
And here's the thing, where the NXT UK are succeeding and the rest of WWE are failing. Right here. It's a perfect example.
Character building.
Yes.
So after this, we had Noam Dar in a segment with Gallus featured. And apparently they have their eyes on the Heritage Cup this month. After losing to Die Familia, which should be interesting.
This month.
But we also have the return of Supernova Sessions happening next week with Jordan Devlin as the special guest. We're also getting T.O. Man versus Nathan Frazier next week. And then we had Blair Davenport versus Meiko Satomura in a Japanese street fight for the main event. Davenport landed awkwardly coming off the top rope and outside, and it looked as though from the way she landed, she broke her ankle. I haven't had any updates. I've not heard anything either, so I think they're keeping it under wraps.
It's still
They'll
being
probably
looked
make
at.
an announcement next week.
From what I understand, it's still being looked at because you have to wait for swelling to go down to get a proper look.
The way it landed, she literally landed on top of her ankle, and it looked like it literally snapped all the way back. So it's either an extremely bad sprain or it's a break.
Yeah.
It could be a lower leg as well.
Yeah, when something like that happens, they generally have to wait for swelling to go down and see what kind of damage was done.
Yeah, the good thing about it was that they got her straight on the gurney as well. There was no messing about it because they saw how bad the landing was. They showed it on replay as well, which may not have been the best thing, but it
probably
didn't
not
catch the actual injury on replay fully.
Yeah, for those of you who want an idea about this, there is a match you can find on the network. You can probably find this on YouTube somewhere as well, where you've got Sid Vicious jumping off the second rope.
Coming off the top rope, the second rope.
Mm-hmm.
In half.
Yeah, very, very much comparable to this. But the first time that match happened, when it was a live thing, they showed replays of that from different angles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those replays, oddly enough, are not on the network version of the show. In fact, they deliberately don't show you what happened.
Yeah.
You still may be able to find it somewhere on the network, but if not, it will be on YouTube somewhere, I think. But there you go. But that was essentially NXT UK, which is always nice and easy and breezy. Even if the show isn't good, at least it's quick. But I think this was a good show, though. What about you, Aaron?
Yeah. I think it was okay. I mean, like everything was what it was. The only thing that let it down was the main event, and that couldn't be helped.
Yeah, you can't account for that.
No, so I gave it a 7 because there was nothing really wrong with it except unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, and the only thing that didn't go right was beyond control.
Yeah, I feel bad if I give this anything less than a 7, to be honest, because like it was
Yeah.
generally good.
Yeah. I mean, so far it's easily been the best show out of the three.
Yeah, and I mean, like the only thing that knocked off a point for me was the fact that the Dragonoff and Devlin thing was just randomly placed in the middle of the show.
It made no sense. Yeah.
No, it didn't. So yeah, that's
Oh,
the only
really?
thing that kind of knocked the show for me. And as I
Yeah.
said before, the main event, but couldn't be helped, so I can't really down score it for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing they really could have done anything about would be the Dragonoff Devlin bit, honestly, because the other thing, again, there's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, give some sort of context to when you're going to drop something into a show like that, and it would have got a much better score, I think.
Yeah, possibly.
Or just don't have it in the show unless you need to actually have it there for some reason.
I'd say I keep getting notifications through. Apparently, I keep on winning iPhone 13s. I wish I did.
Congratulations.
I'd sell them all because I hate iPhones.
No, you just don't like using them. Doesn't mean you hate them. You can't hate an object. No, people get weird about it. You really can't actually hate an object. You can dislike using it, but you can't hate it because it doesn't do anything. The only reason you have an emotion in response to it is it's your own mind, and it's not healthy to hate an object.
No, I suppose not.
So, in my opinion, I do not share your opinion, being an iPhone user, but at the same time, I'm not going to moan at you for having that opinion either. I don't care. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
And the world seems to have a really weird idea about the fact of letting people have their own opinions. We don't agree on everything. Do I give a shit? No. It'd be fucking boring if we did.
No, exactly.
But that, of course, does bring us to SmackDown, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
And oh boy, did this start off badly.
Yeah. Started with a Rumble recap of the Lesnar situation. Lesnar picking Roman for Mania. Roman Reigns opened up the show with the Bloodline, his special counsel reinstated. Then we had a Reigns versus Rollins recap. It was very recapful start. The first say in this segment, however, it turned out to be a hype segment for Roman. And also finding out Heyman's plan all along after he got fired.
Goldberg.
And then we thought the segment was over and we was going to hear Roman's music again, but Goldberg.
Goldberg.
So Goldberg got the ring, looked at Roman, bowed his head and said, "I acknowledge you as my next victim, and I'll see you at Elimination Chamber." And that's what we're getting in 2 weeks at Saudi. Goldberg versus Roman, which we should have had 2 years ago at WrestleMania, but it was taken away because Roman had to isolate due to COVID. Whew.
Again, not Roman's fault. To be very clear on stuff like that.
Yeah. Wait,
no matter what
you're for 2 years now.
Yeah, no matter what your stance may be, in the case of people like Roman who've got a weakened immune system and defense system against any sort of disease, you have to be extra cautious regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you always have to be overly careful, regardless of what you may or may not think about anything. But yeah, it looks like we're going to get these two now. I also like the fact that Goldberg was very, very succinct and didn't ramble on for like 700 years to make the point of, I want to fight you.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Was quick. It was quick and precise. Do I like the idea of this? No. But The execution was okay.
It was what it was.
I meant from Goldberg's point of view of challenging. I didn't mean anything else.
Yeah.
He literally just came out and said, I want to fight you. That is literally what happened. Now, what a problem with that? Rather than having a 700-year monologue, which comes around to eventually to the fact of, I'd like to thrash you. Yeah, shut up. There are characters who can do that, and it's fine. But in an instance of a case like someone like Goldberg, not necessary. Just do what he did, and it works for him.
Yeah, for him. Probably just only him, though.
Yeah, there's probably a couple of people in wrestling history it would work for, but in current WWE, just him.
Yeah, just him. And that's nothing. That's not a bad reflection of like wrestlers. That's just like his persona.
No, it works with him and his character. Yeah, it's as simple as that. I would say if you're going to look at it from obviously the ladies' point of view, from lady wrestler, any of the lady wrestlers who could possibly do it, if you'd booked her properly, Shayna Baszler could have done this.
Yeah. And if you booked her properly, Ronda Rousey could have done it instead of going to the fucking Mania thing. She did it 2 years ago at the Rumble. She literally came out, pointed at the WrestleMania sign, and Bob's your uncle. She was at Mania.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And it is WWE booking.
Yeah. That, of course, does set things up there, and there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Ricochet versus Holland.
I didn't have a problem with this match.
I wonder why.
Except for the fact that Holland lost.
Yeah, that's the sarcasm you may have picked up on. Because yes, ladies and gentlemen, Ricochet won a match.
Yeah.
Just think, Mustafa Ali, that could be you.
Yikes.
Yeah,
I'm not
Aaron
saying
picking up.
anything.
Yeah, Aaron clearly picking up upon the fact that I am Mickey taking WWE with that comment. This, I like to see Ricochet winning, but this means nothing.
No. This was like revenge for Holland. Like this was supposed to be revenge for what didn't help this with Ricochet winning was that it was then turned into a tag match and Ricochet lost.
Yeah, this feud must continue.
I mean, this Ricochet didn't lose per se. He didn't get pinned. Cesaro did, of all people. Like somebody who has challenged for the Universal Championship got pinned by Ridge Holland.
Yeah, and that makes it better, doesn't it?
Yeah, who's like doing the thing and has apparently replaced Cesaro, Sheamus's tag partner, even though Sheamus hasn't had a tag partner for nearly a year now.
Well, since they split up, basically.
Yeah, so over a year. It just doesn't make sense.
No, but, you know, that should be the WWE slogan. Why make sense when you don't have to?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, speaking of things that didn't make sense, Jimmy Uso versus Eric.
What didn't make sense was the match, and what didn't make even more sense was the fact that Eric lost.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Because if you're trying to build to them having like a tag title match at some point, why are you having the challengers lose
I
the
don't
singles
know.
match?
I don't know.
Unless they don't intend them to challenge for the titles. It's just a stopgap filler.
Maybe they just don't want the Vikings to have any momentum and then absolutely thrash their asses anyway.
That's quite possible.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Usos lost their title at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, they'll lose it to Mansoor and whoever his partner is.
It wouldn't surprise me. That's the worst part.
Yeah, that's why I made that comment. It'd make as much sense as just about anything else does in WWE.
Ain't that the truth?
Although in this instance, I'd actually understand it at least.
Yeah, at least it would have some context as to why Mansoor won, because he's in his hometown.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I actually think Mansoor is a decent wrestler, but he doesn't get used. He doesn't get used properly. He is a decent wrestler if you let him be one. Yeah, that's the key aspect right there. Let him be one.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
No,
I
me
reckon
neither.
Mansoor's going to be the next Ali.
Well, he's going to ask us for release and they're not going to let him go.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's kind of
They like-
a unique.
Because they like
That's kind of-
Saudis' money.
I'll say that's kind of a unique twist considering it's the Saudis who don't let people go.
Yeah.
We're not going to elaborate on that one. You guys can work that one out for yourselves.
Yikes.
Speaking of things that must go on forever, Aaliyah versus Natalia.
This blue.
Also, not the first time they've had a match that's ended this way either.
No.
Aaliyah won by count out.
Yeah, this getting stupid.
Yeah.
Like ridiculously stupid. To the point where it's not even memeable anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen
Yeah,
memes about like this like feud. I can't call it a feud without nearly laughing.
you know, the only thing that possibly could have made this at least a bit interesting in a way, and I am kind of pushing this to a bit, is if one of them come out and then just crack the other one with a bat or a chair or something, so the match ends in like a second, so it's a new record.
Yeah.
That'd be about it. I can't think of any other reason for this to have a match.
No.
But it's WWE. They're not going to let their women do stuff like that because that's something they disparage, apparently, and don't like other companies doing. So why would they let their own women do it?
No. Like beating each other over the face with pipes and steel and all manner of other weapons is so terrible. And WWE would never let their women do such a thing like that. It's bestiality on the highest level.
Apparently, it's also gory mutilation. The exact words they used, by the way, but they condemned the other thing. So yeah, but this is definitely one of those instances where I think that would be kind of interesting for these two to do.
So they're against gory mutilation, but they'll let a superstar wear like a mask over their face during a match for like no reason whatsoever except to protect her face. Which, like, some people could look upon that and say that's racist.
Yep.
Way to go, WWE.
Bear in mind, this is the same company which the other week had a Japanese girl dress up basically as a Japanese schoolgirl, so basically stereotype. Just bear that in mind. Do I have a problem?
Dressed exactly the same way this week as well.
Not when she wrestled, though.
No, but before she wrestled.
No, but my point being is it wasn't during the actual match. The thing with that, if it's her choice to dress like that, I don't have an issue with it.
But I really highly doubt that it is.
Yeah. However, if she's been told to do that, fuck off.
Make no sense. WWE.
Because it is a thing in Japan where women will dress that way. It's a thing over there.
Yes, like
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called really.
But that's the thing. You know, it may not be a thing here, but it is there. So, you know, we're supposed to be respecting other people's cultures and belief, right? So if that's a thing, then respect it, okay? It's as simple as that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody needs to be weird about it. However, if they're making her do it, that's a different thing entirely.
It smells like Vince McMahon.
Oh, very much so. But the thing is, I don't know that. So unless I know that, I can't really say. But if it's a thing that's being forced upon her, yeah, cut that shit out.
It looks like she's uncomfortable doing it as well.
That could also be
I don't
just
know
her
whether or not I'm looking too much into it.
That could also just be her not being comfortable in front of on camera.
Yeah.
And for those of you wondering, I'm not talking about when she's wrestling, but when you do backstage vignettes and promos, you're very much aware of the camera as opposed to when you wrestle.
Yeah.
And it could be she's not done a lot of them, so it could be a bit off-putting for her. So it could just be the camera. But Aaron also has a point. It could also be how she's dressed. We don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, if it's her choice, great. If it's not, fucking stop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that applies to anything like this. It's not necessarily just dress up as Japanese school. Don't make people dress up as something they're not comfortable doing. It's bad. And also, it won't work when you try showing it on screen because the person's going to look uncomfortable doing it.
Yep.
And not going to really best concentrate on what they should be doing because they're too preoccupied with other shit.
Yeah.
It's not like WWE haven't got a previous for this. Look at all the people that failed to do the Emma Lee fucking gimmick.
The what?
Oh, you know, the thing Carmella's doing now. You know, the walking around, I'm so pretty.
Right, yeah.
There's been like 2 or 3 previous wrestlers who've been given that gimmick and it's never worked.
No, I mean, Carmella's been doing a good job of it.
She's probably the best out of the ones who've been given to. But this was given to Eva Marie as well. It was also given to Emma when she was in there. So she was Emma Lena.
Mm-hmm.
For 2 examples. And it didn't work for either of them.
No.
Carmella's probably done the best version, but it's still not great.
I mean, she's probably the best at it because she believes it.
And I think that's important for a gimmick like this. You kind of have to be able to relate to it in some way. Even if it's not necessarily you as a person, you need to be at least be able to understand it, and I think Carmella does,
Yeah.
which is probably why this works as well as it does. It's still not great, but it works better because of it.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go. Drew McIntyre, ladies and gentlemen.
He was supposed to be out for how many months was it that they said? I can't remember.
Until January. Ooh, whoops.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
Yeah, he was the surprise entrant into the Rumble.
There was quite a few surprise entrants, to be fair.
Not in the men's one, there wasn't.
Oh no.
Because we pretty much knew all the participants.
And I guessed one of them.
Yeah. The minute he lost that title match, we all kind of knew he was in it. So
Yeah, even without Paul Heyman. Even without Paul Heyman as his thing, he had leeway. So I mean, he's like one of Vince's favourites, isn't he?
Yeah. Although, here's the other thing as well. They never actually explained how he got that number 30 number because, well, going by kayfabe logic, he was still champion when the show started, right? So, was he still going to be in the Rumble if he'd been the champion?
Yeah.
And you were going to touch upon it there. Would he have been able to pick the number if he was the champion at the time?
Mm.
I mean, to be fair to Brock, and I will, Lesnar has been in the Rumble when he's been the champion.
Yeah. He's one of the few people that have.
Yeah. It's a very short list, by the way. And I'm not including the ones with the belt's been on the line, because there's been one of those as well.
Yeah, Roman Reigns.
Yeah. For those of you who are curious, Hulk Hogan, Brock. Told you it's a short list.
Wait, Brock has?
Brock has been in the Rumble as the champion, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But he didn't have the title on the line.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. That's why Reigns doesn't count, because Reigns entered the match and the belt was at stake.
Yeah.
It's also why Ric Flair doesn't count, because he won the belt for winning the 92 Rumble. He wasn't the champion going into it, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I told you it's a very short list. It's 2 people.
It's quite an interesting factoid, though.
Yeah, surprising how many weird fun things come up. But so yes, we had Drew come up for this segment, and eventually you get Madcap Moss and Corbin as well.
It's funny that Madcap tried to jump McIntyre. McIntyre got him to ask him a joke about, and Madcap started telling the jokes that was about the place that they were in, and McIntyre was just like, "No, I want you to tell a joke about me," and Madcap was just like, but he told one, and then he got claymored for it.
To be fair, I'd claymore him for it for telling jokes too.
I'd actually like to see that.
Or me claymore and Madcap Moss, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We all have your hair going through the wind as well.
It would be kind of similar to Drew, but probably not quite as graceful.
No.
So, because Drew, bear in mind, spent a long time perfecting that kick, so.
Mm-hmm. I think you probably land awkwardly on your hip as well and do yourself some more damage than you would Riddick.
Oh no, no! I actually know how to do the move. That's not the issue. It just won't look as good as what Truist does.
No.
Also, I'd be far too tempted to actually do it for real. So there is that.
Also, McIntyre's been told off again. Would you like to know why?
Sure.
That's literally it.
I'm acting as the people here, so you kind of need to elaborate.
Okay, so leg slaps when wrestlers do strikers make the impact sound better, and it's like a thing with like professional wrestling. Like lots of people do it, especially when it's scripted.
Pretty much everyone does it in their super kick, yes.
Yeah.
For an example.
And McIntyre does it, of course, when he does the Claymore to make it sound better, like a better impact.
Right.
And he was told off a few weeks back because he's apparently making it too obvious. And this past week, apparently, he got told off by Vince himself this time. He said, "Stop with the leg slapping."
There was a point in time, by the way, where they were telling people not to leg slap at all. WWE.
Yeah, and they said that they was going to start fining people for it too.
Yeah.
Something that gets basically taught to you in wrestling school.
Well, any decent wrestling school would teach you not to fucking do it.
Yeah. But not all of them are decent, as you and I both know.
True. For example, when I was taught, we were never told to do that.
No.
So, yeah, but I think it's different teachers as well, depending on what they specialise in as well. I think it's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, yeah, I've never seen the necessity to do it because you're making the move more complicated by doing it because you have to then also you do the slap, but you've also got to try and hide the fact you're doing it as you're doing the move. You're making it harder for yourself. Why?
Yeah. Poor life choices. Oh, me.
More clearly, you signed a WWE contract. What do you expect? So yes, Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura
was actually in singles action the first time in how long?
Months.
Yeah.
Against Jinder Mahal.
I liked this, and I didn't just like it because Shinsuke was in a match. I liked it because it was actually a decent match.
Yeah.
And if it hadn't have been a decent match, well, we'd have been very surprised because Jinder is a former WWE champion.
Yeah, for all the shit people give Jinder, and they do, Jinder can actually wrestle. He's actually very good.
Yep.
He's just probably not the best on the mic, but in actual ring skill, yeah, he's good. Jinder can do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we all know Nakamura can. So,
oh yes.
So,
I've seen him in quite a few. We've all seen him in quite a few matches.
Yeah, as Aaron pointed out, it was a decent match. It went well. Nakamura won. You know the issue I had with this match though? Wasn't for the belt.
No.
Because for those of you who have forgotten, I'm sure you have, Nakamura is the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah. I mean, it isn't the worst match I've seen.
Oh, no. The match itself was actually fine. It was actually pretty good.
And if you saw the thingy before the start of the match, this was actually a championship contenders match. So if Jinder would have won, he'd have got a championship match.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who don't remember, WWE Championship contender matches just mean you may get a title shot. It's not a definite thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's aspect of it sucks because I don't like that. The match was okay though. I liked it and it was good. Yeah, I would say probably the best match on SmackDown.
Most likely, yeah.
Well, we've only got one more match left to go, and then we're at the main event segment. So, and that match is the New Day versus Los Lotharios.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely the best match of the night then.
Yeah, I'll say unless you thought that was better.
No.
No.
No. Not at all. No.
Only good thing you can say about this match is the right team won.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I can say about it. Maybe Aaron's got something different.
Both teams looked good.
Yeah. That's pretty
I'm
much
trying to
that.
say that without laughing. Because obviously Los Lotharios.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Although to explain, New Day was Kofi and Big E.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make that clear to people. Xavier, however, has been taken off the inactive roster list, which means he's probably going to be back soon.
Yeah.
So that's good at least.
Don't have a problem with that, like Xavier.
Yeah. So it'll be good to see him back and the fact he's healthy again. So yay to that. However, I'm not going to be saying yay to
not.
Sorry, go on.
Makes me question whether or not Big E will be staying much longer because, like, he's been there with Kofi. But if Kofi is if Woods is back and fully healed, he's not needed on SmackDown. It's Big
Sorry?
E. Obviously, going to be leaving.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
What?
Why would he be leaving?
Why? Because he's only there to fill in Kofi's spot. Well, Xavier's only in. He's only there to fill in Xavier's spot while Xavier's injured. That's
So
what
where's
I
he
thought.
going? So where's he going?
Back to Raw.
No.
No.
He got sent to SmackDown. He's actually got traded.
No.
This happened last week. This happened last week, by the way.
They didn't really go into much detail about it.
No, they didn't explain it at all. I found it online.
No, I wasn't sure whether or not he was staying on SmackDown or whether or not he was off.
Unless they changed their minds. Yeah, unless they've changed their minds, he actually got traded over.
Okay. Don't have a problem with that.
So they're all on the same show, basically. Again.
Makes a change.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing.
No. However, we got a bad thing coming now. The main event segment of SmackDown.
Oh boy.
Go ahead.
I don't want to.
You don't want to. And that, ladies and gentlemen, should just tell you just how bad it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
We had a face-off between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair.
And it was all he said, she said bollocks.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't want to get us coming into that, I will sum this up simply. Ronda challenged Charlotte for the title.
Yeah. And she said, "You're not special. You're just first." Which I liked. But really, you gonna tell Charlotte Flair that she's not special when she's basically been told she's special every day of her life? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. This is where I actually have an issue, particularly with WWE's handling of this. I have issues with a bunch of things, but the three main female wrestlers at the moment, by the way, are Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They're all heels.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
So are they going to try and turn Charlotte babyface for this match against Ronda?
I have no idea.
Because let's be honest, they could try turning Ronda, but
Yeah. I don't see that working.
This is one of the many reasons why it should be Becky and Ronda, because you could make that work much easier than Charlotte and Ronda do.
Yeah. Is it going to happen though? Probably not.
No. Because here's the thing. Even though Becky's a heel, people still cheer for Becky.
Yeah.
People still like Becky.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make that work.
Uh-huh.
All this is going to be is just, oh, you fucking hurry up.
Mm-hmm.
And bear in mind, we're going to have to wrap this shit until WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to add?
No, not really.
No, I didn't think so. So you just need to give us a rating for SmackDown.
Four.
Yeah. And most of that 4 comes from the Nakamura Jinder Mahal match.
Oh, actually, hang on. No, wait. I've got 3 on here.
Yeah. Again, still the same thing applies. I'm pretty sure there's only reason it's a 3 is probably the Jinder Nakamura match. And that's going purely upon what you've said. Because not been good.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the WWE stuff. Thank
Yeah.
God. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, after show. So how's the Minecraft going?
It's okay. I'm just trying to build a bed for me and my dog.
Okay.
And I'm using like a little tutorial that I found a couple of days ago. And actually, no, it was last year. It was December.
Okay.
I'm using a different style of wood, so it kind of looks different to what the tutorial does.
I see. Is that going to make a difference?
It makes it a bit more. What's the word? Aesthetically different. But
Okay.
apart from that, not really.
Well, it should be fairly easy then, because if they've got a tutorial, then it probably means they've done it before. I'd hope.
You think so?
That's why I said I'd hope. But you never know with online stuff. People do like to lie on the internet. It's a thing.
Yeah. This is really getting on my nerves. Hey, done it.
Cool.
Sweet. I don't know if I can show you. Like. Kind of. The top part's supposed.
The screen's a bit
supposed to be.
The screen's a bit too bright. It might just be the angle that we're at, to be perfectly honest.
Any better?
Slightly, yeah. But again, it's still too bright. I mean, I can make it up. But I don't know how it's going to be for everyone else.
Yeah. Well, the top bit where the red bit is where the dog goes, and then I sleep in the bed underneath.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I could make it out, but I'm not sure how clear that is. But I imagine, though, that people can check that out, though, when you do on your stream the next time you stream Minecraft,
Yeah.
Which is when, Aaron? When are we streaming Minecraft again?
Wednesday.
Which day? Is it Wednesday, did you say?
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah, so you guys can check. If you guys want to see that much more clearer, you just go to Yay channel on a Wednesday to catch the Minecraft. And you can see the fruits of Aaron's labour that he's been doing throughout the show.
Yeah.
And this is how Aaron's going to dress for his wedding.
No, it's not.
We could get you a stripper like that if you like.
Sure.
I don't think Kenny'd have a problem with that, oddly enough.
Probably not, no.
So do you have anything you'd like to tell the people about that you're going to be doing this week on your streams at all?
I've got a 12-hour stream this month.
Oh yes, I heard something about this. Yes, please elaborate.
I'm doing a 12-hour zombie stream, and I'm not allowed to sleep or leave for 12 hours except for the bathroom, obviously. It's basically like Game with a Name, what I did last, but for a smaller amount of time.
Okay.
And people can come on and play with me, like on the games as well.
Yeah, they can come on and play
And,
games with Aaron, to be clear.
Yeah, and it's Cold War Zombies.
Okay.
And the aim of the game part of it is we have to successfully exfil from every kind of zombie map on the game.
I see.
And there's like 8 different maps on one of the zombie modes.
Okay.
And
So you're going to be doing those. So you're going to be doing those for the whole 12 hours then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And depending on how many viewers I get is dependent on like how many weapons I'm allowed to. Because I'm going to be spinning a wheel to determine what gun I use every time that. So it's going to be completely random. So like first run might be melee, or might be sniper. It depends on what it gives me.
I see. So the more the better. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And also going to different things like drop. So middle of and I've got a gun that I'm using a lot. Somebody can they can donate bitties, and if they donate, they can tell me to swap out a gun for another gun. Just, like get rid of the best gun that I've got basically, and I end up using something that's completely useless. So it could cause me to die.
So essentially, guys, bribery.
Yeah.
If you want to pay Aaron to do stuff in the game, that's how you do it.
Yeah, and if you gift a subscription, you can choose my loadout one as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm assuming you'll explain this to everyone as well as you go on throughout the month as well.
Yeah.
Give people an idea. Obviously, it helps to start off with a bit and then just remind them, refresh. So, because obviously, not everyone is overly familiar with the rule of how Twitch works, for example.
Yeah. Also, I've got new merch coming out in March.
Oh, swanky.
Yeah.
Very nice. So, yeah, guys, keep an eye out for that. I'm sure everyone will let us know more about that as we move closer to March. We're still a few days, we're still most of the month away from March at the moment. So, you're going to have to wait, but I'm sure Aaron will keep everyone updated and posted.
Yeah, maybe.
I tried, people. It's not my fault. If you've got an issue with it, just bombard that one on his socials. But to be clear,
Don't do that.
Nicely. Don't be that. Don't be that person.
I'm already getting loads of people and bombard me. We've won a 19.
You get lots of people bombard you for what?
Saying, "Oh, you've won a 19." It's like, no, I haven't. Go away.
I see. Yeah, I'm talking about the useful kind of bombarding, not the stupid kind. You know, the ones that involve people who actually want to care about what you're doing and want to help. You know, those kind of people.
Yeah.
But there you go. Right. What I will do at this point, though, is we can say goodbye to our viewers because I'll take us off of being live at this point, I think. So, anything else you'd like to tell the people other than the live thing? Is there anything else at all? That would be a no then, because apparently
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah. Right. Well, you can check out Aaron's streams on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. We will obviously be back next Sunday in one form or another. So always tends to be it is the thing. So we'll see how it goes. And with that one, people, we will see you soon. So bye bye, people.